What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring another video where I am putting a battle head to head for my perfect palette and the original palette. So this time, as it says in the title, I am actually going to be doing a battle between the Natasha Denona gold palette, and I will show you guys what that looks like. This is what the Natasha Denona gold palette looks like, and then I'm comparing that, or kind of battling that up against my perfect gold palette, which I shopped my stash a little while ago and I never got around to doing the video prior to actually picking up the palette, so I figured I'd do a battle instead. And so this is what I created. Now I will say, before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty, when I did recreate this palette, I was not trying to really dupe out shade for shade. I was just taking very much inspiration from this palette. So I wanted to show you guys obviously what looks similar to what I actually created, but there is definitely some uniqueness in my perfect palette. And yeah, like I said, I created one look with each palette on my eyes, and of course, as always, feel free to take the time to stop the video right now and to guess which palette is on which eye. I'm not going to tell you guys. Obviously, I want you guys to take the time to watch the video and have some fun. I also did throw in some lashes. Give your girl a like, okay? Because they're at least on. They may not be straight, they may not be the best, but they're on. And you know, this is years in the making that I even got this far. So I would appreciate it if you like this video, and if you are digging these types of videos, I really enjoy this series. I would truly appreciate it if you guys do hit that subscribe button. And yeah, let's get into the video. Hey guys, so I need to figure out how to reset my settings for the summer, because I just tried for like 10 minutes and I can't figure out how to change the exposure level. So we'll figure that out eventually. But today, as I said in the intro, I'm going to be doing another one of my perfect palette, and the original palette. Once again, it's Natasha Denona. I went through a phase where I was recreating a lot of her palettes, so it just happens to be a thing. But hopefully in the future we can like branch out to different brands. So if you have a different brand you want me to branch out to, go ahead and shout them out down in the comments. And if you have a particular palette from said brand, once again, shout it out down in the comments. So while I had already like created this palette, which is the dupe of the gold palette, as you can see, I did some fun shades. It truly is more of my perfect and not duping, but I still thought it would be fun to showcase, so we're just gonna do that. I genuinely can't remember how I did the eyes last time. Actually, let's switch it. I have a feeling I did the real eye, or the real palette, on my right eye, so let's kind of switch it up just so that I don't get kind of stagnant in that arena. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the original palette. I do have the Natasha Denona eyeshadow base primed and ready to go. And I am going to go into the shade called Dijon, which y'all know, if you know me, this was going to be a shade that I used today. I absolutely love these like mustardy shades. And so we're going to start off putting this all up in the crease and the transition area. And this happens to be an Eddie Funkhauser blending brush. I believe this is the large brush, but it's been years since I have picked up anything Eddie Funkhauser, so I genuinely don't even know. That's really, really pretty. And I like how it does show up on my complexion, and there's some slight depth there. Clearly from my eyeshadow primer, not from my actual skin tone, there's some depth, but still, it's really, really pretty. Okay, I think I'm gonna build my whole crease and then I'll replicate it on the other eye this time. And so what I want to do is actually then take a smaller brush. Let's go for a Wayne Goss. This is a Wayne Goss 19, and I am going to go, let's see if I can figure out the shade name again, and it's Python, and it's the one kind of teal deep green. So I am going to like I said, take the Wayne Goss 19, and I'm going to start off by packing it on this outer V area. Okay. And then I'm going to slowly blend out this outer V into the crease and slowly kind of to my inner corner as well. I'm going to try not to add any additional product. I really want, you know, the majority of that product to be on this outer V area, but just to add like a slight depth situation. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just take that brush again, and we are going to go ahead and take that Python shade and put her right along my lower lash line. Okay, and then I'm going to take that same fluffy brush and we're going to reinforce the Dijon shade, but then we're also going to blend out my lower lash line. I'm really liking this. Really liking this. Okay. So that's pretty much going to be my crease. I don't want to go too crazy. So let me just clean off my two brushes that I've used. If you're wondering, I typically in these videos, I use like a quick brush cleanser. This happens to be from It Cosmetics. It's not bad, but it's definitely not the best one that I've tried because it does leave a slight kind of oily residue. So I find you not only have to clean your brushes once, but you have to clean them again. So yeah, anyways, give me a second. And I just realized what I said. I said you have to clean the brushes again. You don't have to clean them twice. It does get the product out, but like I said, it leaves a like residue of oil. And so I find that I have to then like wipe my brushes after I like swish them around to get the color off. So that can be quite annoying, but there are worse things in life. Okay, so next to replicate on this eye, I'm gonna go in with my Sydney Grace eyeshadow in Haystack. And if you know Sydney Grace, they have a beautiful, beautiful formula. This is not going to be an exact dupe. I already know that. I know the shade. I've used the shade so much. And it's a really pretty shade, but it doesn't have this right, I would say, undertone. So that's like an easy kind of, I already kind of knew that that was going to be the situation when I created this palette, but this was quite literally the only thing that I had, I think, that was not already in like another kind of palette redesign at the time, because I know I do have shades that replicate the one that's in this palette, but you know, I was working with what I had. Okay. So really, really pretty nonetheless shade, but it's just the undertone isn't perfect. I don't know if you guys are gonna understand that, but yeah, anyways, it's not perfect. And then what I'm gonna do is take that same Wayne Goss brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Jaded, and this one happens to be from Divina Cosmetics. So once again, fantastic shade, fantastic formula. But once again, just slightly off. This is a little bit more tealy, whereas the one in the green palette or gold palette is more green. So, you know, as usual with me, it's more so taking what the color scheme and being inspired sometimes, and this time it was definitely more of an inspiration recreation than like I'm gonna actually dupe this out accurately. Because I was trying to save money, and then I happened to be on Mercari and I happened to have money and I found a palette. I'm sorry, I started to bring that Divina Cosmetics shade down below, and I'm just gonna blend her out with the Sydney Grace shadow. Because that Divina shadow is so pigmented, it may just require a little bit more finesse with blending, but they blend beautiful. It's just a little bit more finesse. Okay, So I think I like everything. Okay, so both creases are done. Now let's go into the lid shades. This of course is the fun part, and I'm pretty sure between all of the metallics that were presented in this palette, this one and this one were the two that people really enjoyed, other than of course the blue. So I'm gonna do some fun situation here, and because I don't have any more NYX glitter glue, this is actually going to be fun to see how this gets accomplished. So let me find a brush. I'm just going to use my ECM W21 brush, and I'm going to have some setting spray on standby to make sure that my brush is kind of really nice and adheres. And what I'm going to do is first go into the shade Aurora. So Aurora is the beautiful blue metallic shimmer shade. I don't even know if it's a metallic. Based on how it's picking up, I don't think it's a metallic. I think this might be, she has like a diamond formula or something. I don't know. Anyways, sprayed the brush twice, and what I'm gonna do is put this up in the crease and slightly blend her down. I may need to go over it to get what I want. We'll see. We'll go with it for right now. Hopefully I have another W21 so I don't need to clean off these brushes, but it's okay. All right, so that is that. I'm liking it. Then I'm gonna go into the deeper of the two golds that I pointed out, which is brass. So I'm gonna take brass, I'm gonna flip my W21 on the other side so it's kind of quote unquote clean. And I'm gonna take some of brass and I'm gonna spray my brush again. Okay, and then this is gonna go on the bottom half of my lid. That's really pretty. Very pretty. Okay, I'm very happy with that. And then what I'm gonna do, okay, first I need to brush off this fallout. I knew that was gonna happen, just because those last couple of times that I went in, I did not actually spray my brush, which is why I recommend spraying your brush, but took more than I wanted to take to do that. And then I think the last shade that I'm using is called Lime Chrome. So I'm going to take Lime Chrome on a pencil brush and I'm going to spray it, and this is going to be my inner corner highlight. And that is definitely at least a duochrome. It might actually be a multi-chrome, but that is looking really pretty. I like exactly how that came out. I think everything flows really nicely. Okay, so let me see if I can find, I don't think, haha, my obsession with the W21 is coming in handy. So I'm gonna take a different W21 and now I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did, but with the shades that are equivalent on my perfect palette. So first I'm going to go into Queen of Mean, and this is from Looxi Beauty. I will of course always have all of the items that are on my face down below, and if these single shadows are still available, I will have them linked as well. So to give both sides, you know, the same chances, I'm just going to go ahead and spray the brush as I did with the other side and get her applied. Okay, not bad at all. Okay, now I'm gonna flip it over to the other side, and then I'm gonna go into Kristin Leigh Toxic, is it Flame? What is it? Toxic Flame. So this is one of their multi-chromes. I really do enjoy the brand Kristin Leigh, and like I said, I'm just going to take their shade Toxic Flame. Oh my, okay. and I am going to go ahead and blend her up. Okay, not terrible, but I think clear differences between, you know, what is what. Then I'm going to take, once again, a clean blending brush, and I am going to go into the shade Lady Luck, which is this beautiful, beautiful shade up here. And I'm going to make this my inner corner highlight. Wow. Okay, these are night and day. Okay, so I think I just want to make the bottom of my lid just slightly blend together a little bit more than what it's so apparent how different they are. Not that that's a bad thing. I just rock with me for a little bit. I'm gonna take a dollop of, this is from, I think the brand's Itsy, and this is Determined. This was actually a decent shadow. I think this was their collaboration with Coffee Break with Danny, and I'm just going to kind of put her on top just to kind of calm down the purple just a little bit. And so if you had this shade by chance, it's a really old shade, very old shade. I'm actually going to go ahead and actually spray my brush. If you happen to have that shade, I would say go with that if you want something a little bit more like the palette. Not that the Kristin Leigh wasn't bad. I definitely love that shade, but it was just so stark with the purple that my face no longer looked anything like what the original looked like. So I just wanted to do that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is hop off camera. I think I'm gonna put some lashes on today, so we'll see how that goes. I'm also gonna do my liners, clean my teeth, do all of that jazz, make sure to get all this fallout off because it's quite apparent to me at least. And then yeah, I'll come back to show you guys the finished look. Okay, so I'm still getting used to putting on lashes, but I think your girl got them on right. Look at the eyeshadow though, look at the eyeshadow. Okay, let's come in. Okay, like I said, pay no attention to the eyelashes, focus on the actual eyeshadow. So I think everything came out quite well. When we're sitting here, and like I like to do at the end of these videos, I like to compare which one do I personally prefer. Honestly, I think in this case, just the undertones of the shades that I actually played with, I think I actually prefer the original. Now granted, as I've said time and time again, I do think that I have kind of shades to dupe out these a little bit better than what I actually have on my eye today. But if we're comparing these actual two palettes that are in front of me right now as they are, I think I actually do prefer the Natasha Denona gold palette. What I will say, the bonus of course when it comes to creating your own perfect palette though, is that you get to create in some fun different textures, different shades. Like this, as you guys saw on my eye, looked like a straight up purple. It is a multi-chrome, so it came off a little bit better and a little bit more unique and different. But mixing these two, I now get to have, with those two shades alone, 3 different eyeshadows. I get this one by itself, I get this one by itself, and then mixing them together, I have what's literally on my lid today. So I think that there is definitely some merit in some space in actually creating your own perfect palette, but it genuinely just depends on who you are and your financial situation. But also, like, if you can even find the Natasha Denona palette at a decent price. I think somebody asked me prior like what I paid for this, and I want to say I paid maybe $150. I genuinely don't remember. I'll try and remember to look through my Mercari to post on here, but for me that was a decent price for a limited edition, no longer sold palette that I genuinely think I can get a lot of use out of. I think that these mattes are just fantastic. I've always enjoyed Natasha Denona's mattes, and the different textures that are presented in this palette, specifically like the more metallics and foily shades, are more up my alley than maybe some of her other palettes in this palette scheme, if that makes any sense. So overall, I'm very, very happy with this purchase. I'm also very, very happy with my recreation, but if I had to choose, I would definitely choose this. So that's kind of that. Check out down below, like I said, if you're interested in anything that's on my face. Everything is Project Pan as per usual, but in the event that you want to know a specific item, check out down there. And that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to say. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.